You know, he plays Noble and then Cackler, and then he has a Pillar for another creature.
But either way, Brian Kibler moves on to 2-0 with his Black-Green Ooze deck. We're going to cut across to our next matchup here, and I guess, you know, maybe Vegas just loves Wolf Run along with a lot of black mana, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but we do see Jonathan Jobe here playing what he told me earlier is basically a take on Conley Woods' deck from the Pro Tour, much like Travis has done, and has found a way to get in Kessig Wolf Run. He's got copies of Farseek. He actually also has Gruul Kiru. Maybe Jonathan and Travis have been working together? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they did, or maybe he just saw his stream and decided I like that deck.
Very, very similar deck list here.
On the other side, we have Gary Weigman, who's playing a typical blue-red-white flash deck. A little different from the one I believe we saw Vinny play because he has Thundermaw Hellkite main. And only 3 Augur Bolas, and he also has a 1 Aurelius Fury in the main deck.
Okay.
Which is an exciting card, I suppose.
And what we do cut into something here. Now, this is something Patrick Sullivan loves. He loves cutting into a beatdown.
Yeah.
That's what he enjoys. And we're cutting into Jonathan Jobe with a Thragtusk, a Gristlebrand, and a Cryptgrasp on the board. So this feels like we're cutting into a beatdown here. And you know, we do apologize for the glare there on the left-hand side for Gary's, but to kind of balance out the glare, it's very dark.
Yeah, the utter darkness as Grizzlebrand draws 7 cards.
So Osip and I will do the best that we can to keep you guys informed on what those lands are in play, what Gary's board state looks like. The same goes for Jonathan in his hand. And we do see some cards being picked up here. It looks like there's a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
It looks like it's either a verdict, it's a blasphemous
act.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gary swept the board, but you know, Jonathan was able to draw 7 off of Grizzlebrand, so still not the worst shape. And does he get a Thragtusk token? Or
if he remembers, he gets a Thragtusk token. I would get a Thragtusk token.
And there's a dice, which I believe represents a Thragtusk token. Or he just wants to play CeeLo.
Ah, there.
And there it is. So, looks like pretty good shape for Jonathan, which is something he needs because he's down a game. Not sure how this matchup would play out, to be honest. You'd think that Gary, you know, being a control deck, and he's got Pillar of Flame, he's got cards like Searing Spear to deal with Cryptghast. So as long as he can deal with the Cryptghast, you'd expect him to be in decent shape. You know, Thragtusk is obviously a very annoying card, but after board, I don't think he even has any counter spells. Yeah, he doesn't. He just has all removal spells and like cards like Unsummon and Boros Charm. So he's definitely just sort of like a blue-red-white aggro deck.
Okay.
Less controlling and more aggro.
Much more like Joel Larson's deck from the Pro Tour than Jerry's. So we're going to see Jonathan to come across for 3 with the Beast token, and now he is going to slide through his hand, and he's going to cast a Rakdos Return. And he's going to clear out those cards in Gary's hand. Looks like that Rakdos Return is in between 2 and 3, and now we're going to see, it looks like, a Farseek as well. Going to accelerate himself a little bit more. He does have a Kessig Wolf Run among those lands over there, so could be threatening lethal next turn.
Seems like all the cool kids are just adding Wolf Run to any deck.
Hey, you know, Wolf Run is a very good card. We saw Melissa DeTore do it for her Bant deck, and now we see Travis Wu finding a way to get it into a mono black deck. You know, you do have to make, I would call, a sacrifice by having to play Gruul Kiru to do such a thing, but you can't deny the power of Kessig Wolf Run as a Magic card. One of the best, if not the best, non-basic land in the format. So
wow,
Snapcaster, that was fast.
Oh, and Jonathan's at 4, so that's some more. That's clearly why he was so excited. All right, so at first I was like, oh, well, I guess he really wants to cast Sphinx Revelation.
Yeah.
But with Jonathan at 4 and a Boros Charm in the graveyard, that seems like a more optimal play.
That's another good Magic card.